NFL, but I'm feeling college right now. Let's do this week in South Florida. So we look at Michael Irvin being on the sidelines. We look at Malachi Tony. We look at Fletcher. I mean, we look at Carson Beck coming over from Georgia. We have a national championship, ladies and gentlemen. And people are going crazy. From people on your side to people on my side. I got people emailing me. They're saying, yo, Ace, what's up, man? How you guys feel about not only Florida being a hockey state, but now it's back to being belong to the U. So we got Indiana versus. What do you expect from this game? Because a lot of people saying that we are a heavy underdog. They're saying that we may lose 55-31, 48-25. I mean, what's your view on this national championship game Monday night?
And I think it's so many great storylines for this upcoming game. You got Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner. He's actually from Miami, So imagine you come home, hometown kid, and you beat the school that didn't recruit you. And I don't know if they recruited him or not, but it's interesting, man. You got Beck. Beck's a 5th-year senior. He's been in school a long time, man. They had like a thing with Malachi Tony and him. Malachi Tony was 7 when Beck was in his first year of college or high. It was a weird thing, but it's dope, man. My wife, shout out to Randy, she went to UM. So I'm hearing in my ear all day long. One of my close friends, T, my boy Alton, he's a big UM fan. He a UM fan and a 49ers fan. Life is good for him right now, not for you so much. But no, it's dope. Listen, man, a lot of people realize I'm a Florida State fan. I don't hide about it. I love Florida State forever, but it feels good as a South Florida sports fan where, see, we're blessed from the 90s of when UF was good, where Florida State was good and UM was good at the same time. We lived those eras, right? So it's cool to see UM back in the mix, man. A lot of people wasn't going to UM, getting recruited over there no more, man. Everybody's going to Alabama. They call Alabama NFLU. So it's cool to you keep people in state now. So hopefully they don't let a Lamar Jackson leave again, let a Beck leave. It's so many great Florida players that get out the state, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, one thing that I appreciate about this national championship run, they came out of nowhere. I mean, we knew last year they had a good team, but we didn't expect a 10th ranked team to be in a national championship against the number one ranked team. I mean, it's definitely David versus Goliath. I mean, I'm hoping that there's a parade just like we had for the Panthers. It's going to be interesting going forward with that. But the biggest thing that I think when I look at this game is if they can control Mendoza as far as make Indiana a more of a run team, which I don't know they can because Mendoza is playing all world. Um, I hate to say this, if I had to make a pick, I still leaning towards Indiana's way. Indiana has not had a national championship. This would be crazy for Indiana more than it would be for Miami, and we know what Miami is. It is a place, but we've seen national championships before, so it's going to be interesting. But let's jump real quick over to the NFL. Listen, man, in the words of Tony Braxton, it's just another sad love song breaking my heart. I'm just broken, man. I'm sad. I'm hurt. Uh, I've been crying. I'm feeling like Al Pacino from Godfather. I tell you, every time the Eagles lose, I'm hollering. I'm hollering. I'm screaming. I remember it like it was literally yesterday. I just came back from taking my engagement photos. Shout out to the guy who did it, Greg Photography. And as we did what we did, I came in. We take the lead. I'm thinking we're gonna win the game. They go down the field, throw the curl out the backfield to Christian McCaffrey, and there you have it. The Eagles lose. All season long, even before all season, I always kept saying it was the OC. From last year, you told me it was AJ. So who does the blame? Who does the blame go to? Everybody's been saying it on TV, but I want to know what's Prince's take. Who does the blame go? Is it on Sirianni? Is it on Jalen Hurts? Is it on AJ Brown? Or is it on Kevin Petrulla?
I think everybody gets equal blame, man. And we'll throw Saquon in there too. And I say that because last year was a monumental year for Saquon. Like that, I don't think a running back will ever have that kind of year again. Maybe a McCaffrey or somebody like maybe a Bijan when he gets in his super prime. But y'all had a lot of band-aids all year, man. You haven't been like talking about You said that OC was trash from the beginning, right? You never was a Jalen Hurts guy. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? AJ Brown is a great receiver, but he just didn't fit what y'all was trying to do. Y'all are more blue collar, and y'all brought a diva into blue collar, right? Where the problem with that is if you a diva, go back to who they call divas, the Randy Moss, the TOs, the Jerry Rice. He was a humble diva, I would say, but he still wanted that ball. Make no mistake. Everybody I name always delivered. So you can't be in that rarefied air if they throwing you the rock and it's bouncing off your hands. You look now, the coach is telling you to run off the field, and you thinking you and your feelings about the catch. He's not even talking about the catch. He's not trying to get a penalty. Get your ass off the field. You want to fight the coach. The optics of it is wild, man. And I think to be real, not to psychoanalyze nobody, I think AJ got a little bipolar in him, man, because someday he'll come in the Honda Accord, he calm, he reading his book. Next day, it's you wanna fight the coach, you arguing, you tweeting out stuff. It's a lot of F-boy behavior. We're from an era where his behavior is inconsistent, man, and it's a lot of immaturity, and what's gonna happen is he may get traded, go to another team, he's gonna get all his stats, but it's gonna be that empty feeling of, "Damn, we had something special. What if I was just a little more mature at the time?" You know, you see the regret with Shaq. Shaq is arguably top 3, top 1, 2 in somebody's book as the greatest big man ever. And you see the hurt in his eyes of he didn't give Kobe his best years. He didn't put everything into the game. And I think AJ will have that same regret if he don't change, man, because this is a humbling experience. And I think Sirianni, it's just a mixed bag for y'all, man. Sirianni run people the wrong way. I remember the first press conference he had. Cat was like, "Yeah, who is this cat?" You know, he go to the Super Bowl, respect. He wins the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So Sirianni kind of has that respect because he won already. So you really can't tell him nothing. So if it's between Sirianni or AJ, they're gonna choose the coach. In that case, I don't know, man. I think Jalen Hurts been playing he been playing game manager a long time, and there's sometimes your quarterback gotta win the game. Forget the OC, forget the running game. We saw that with Matt Stafford, right? He was just McVay was like, "Hey, man, I let him do what he do." And that's where you go get a great quarterback, where it's a Patty, it's a Josh Allen. Sometimes your quarterback gotta win it. Forget a play call, go win us the game. And I think that's where Jalen, he's
So
not there.
let's go down this path now. This is a good analytics that you're giving me. So I want to give you devil's advocate of the situation. Shout out to MJ Sports in Philadelphia, and he said something that kind of blew my mind. And he said this. He said, "You remember when Kobe, the one game seven, he kept passing the ball because everybody kept complaining about him taking jump shots, right? Right. So let's look at the situation before when the season started, when we got in those moments, what would Jalen do? We know he's not the passer, so he would go and get the yards running, right? He'll go get the yards running. If you notice in the game, and since AJ became a diva, Jalen has not run the ball like he normally does. A lot of people said the game was lost because on key moments, Brock Purdy got 34 yards rushing. Jalen Hurts only had 14 yards rushing. Now, is that a predecessor of Jalen Hurts, the player, being in his feelings, or is that a predecessor of we keep saying, well, you're not Patty, so won't you be like Patty and throw the ball? Or you're not Joe Burrow, so be like Joe Burrows and throw the ball. You're not Josh Allen. Should he just play his game, which is he's a dual threat in these moments? The play broke down. Just go ahead and run. Get us the first down, get us down the field. Or should he follow the prototypical type of a Patrick Mahomes?
You gotta play your game in this league. You know what I mean? You gotta go with what God gave you. And obviously him, RPOs and all of that, that's what made Jalen Hurts a Super Bowl champion. You know, why would you go away from that because your homeboy in the corner giving you the side eye? See, people don't realize, like from a basketball perspective, I played point guard in my life, right? Where it's tough. You got to get yourself involved, especially playing with your friends. This dude over here pouting. You want to get him to rock. Everybody want to touch the ball. Everybody want to contribute to a win. Now there's some cats, and receivers one of the only positions where They money, popularity is not dependent on wins and losses. It's individual accolades. That's why they're divas. It's not receivers gotta get their yards, bro. That's how they get paid, their bonuses. So you're dealing with that, and you're dealing with a team structure of forget that, we're just winning. And the Eagles y'all got away with that because it's like, hey, did it look pretty? No. Did Jalen throw for 200? No. But we got the W. The problem is when you don't get the W, now we gonna look at them numbers. His last 5 games, nothing over 200 yards. And now you like, man, for you know me, I don't care about the passing.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's not the greatest passer to me. Let's be
No.
real. But it allows the defense to never relax. I felt like others knew he gonna drop back and pass. He not running. Like they knew that they schemed like, go ahead and pass. Because they knew he wasn't gonna run. I don't know how they knew that, and I don't know why he didn't run. But
Okay.
it's some big drop. Now let's be clear now. My boy Smitty dropped a big one. AJ dropped some big ones. And Goddard pretty much saved niggas' legacies. Cause if bro, listen, on that 4th down, bro, and if y'all don't convert, AJ Brown, his house is on fire. And they go, listen, if y'all season would have ended like that, man, oh man.
Listen, let me tell you right now, his house is on fire anyway right now. The only thing that's saving him is Cooper DeJean and these cornerbacks saying, we got better because AJ would stay after practice and play with us. Other than that, right now, everybody in Philly is calling more for AJ and Pachula's head. But speaking of this situation, so let's look at the offseason for all these teams, the circus of teams. Of course, we know Mike Tomlin stepped away. We know that Harbaugh was let go. We know Mike McDaniels was fired. Now, I'm going to play a game with you real quick. You know what game we always play? Keep 3, cut 4, off-season situations. And I'm just going to throw out a couple of carousel of not names, but situations. It's going to be teams, and it's going to be coaches, and it's going to be players. Now, the 3 that you're keeping are the ones that you think are fixable. The 4 that you're cutting is the one that you like, listen, I don't think this is going to be good at all. First situation. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that a keep situation or is that a cut situation? Meaning that next year is promising for them.
I'll keep them because you still got Watt. You still got certain defensive pieces. So you got a superstar on defense. Whatever you think of DK Metcalf, he's still a viable piece for a trade or whatever, or to have him. He still gets his numbers. So I'll keep them. It's a historic organization. I think you still got the bones, and free agents will still want to go play in Pittsburgh. They still got the cachet to get people because of their name and their history. So I'll keep them.
Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
That one's tough, right? It's tough because I think the Bills just wanted it more. But Trevor Lawrence stepped his game up this year, and they can't. You got me with this one. I'll probably keep them. I'll keep them because I like their running game.
Okay.
I like their offense. They got Daniel. They got old boy that was hurt. Yeah, I'll keep them.
Okay. Now remember, you only got one more key and you haven't cut. And I know you're not going to cut this next one, so I'm going to make it very hard on you. You got the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a good chance Travis Kelce's going to retire. Patrick Mahomes with the knee injury. We don't know if he's going to come back the beginning of next year or he may come back mid-season of next year. Is the Kansas City Chiefs a keep situation for 2026 to 2027, or is it a cut situation?
I gotta cut them. Get them out of here.
Ooh, he's cutting Patty. That's a
The reason
first.
I the reason I say that too. Remember, Worthy got a whole new case.
Oh, that's true. Hey, listen, you bring in more light to the story. So,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point.
For some reason, we thought Worthy was like a church boy. Remember, he had his mom there with him.
Uh-huh.
And this fool got all kind of charges, domestic violence and
Uh-huh.
speeding, leaving it like he got a lot going on, man. So I think they more got internal issues. The only way is if Patty and Tyreek get healthy at the same time, they do a reunion. I do think the Cheetah gonna end up back in the Chiefs.
I agree with you. I agree
I
with you.
think
I
it's
mean,
gonna end up that way.
that's the only team that kept Cheetah locked in. So I
Right.
agree with you. I agree with you. That's a good point. Okay, so you got 2 keeps that you kept and you already cut 1. So let's go on to the next one. You got the situation in Baltimore. Harbaugh stepped away. Rumor mill states that the reason why Mike Tomlin stepped away from Pittsburgh is actually that he may want to go and run things in Baltimore. Do you keep what's going on in Baltimore, or it's still too much dysfunction that Mike Tomlin can't fix? Zay Flowers, Mark Andrew, Isaiah Likely, the biggest name of all, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
Man, I'm gonna keep him. Imma keep him just because you still got decent corners on that back end, even though Humphries was getting cooked this whole season felt like it's the most I've seen Humphries get killed like that. You got I don't know, man, it's a lot of still piece I like Likely. Likely still made that big catch. Likely's a stud. I think as Andrews kinda fades out, Likely's the guy. I don't know how much Derrick Henry has left. You never seen a running back still go this hard. And I still you can't blame Lamar for that last one. He did I think that's why it was so heartbreaking for him this time, because it's like, "Damn, boy, what else?" I did everything I gotta do, the nigga missed a field goal. I did everything I had to do last year. Mark Andrews never drop. That other years, Lamar didn't throw his punches, I'll say that. But these last 2 years, I can't put it on Lamar. Now, Lamar's going through what Jalen Hurts is going through, I feel like. The OC is always tricky for him. I
Yeah,
think you get a head coach and you get a mind. So now you got 2 minds now. You got, what's my boy? You got Kingsbury and you got McDaniels. So now what if a Kingsbury goes with Jalen? What if a McDaniels goes with Lamar? Them 2 niggas never had quarterbacks like a Jalen or Lamar. They probably like, "Oh, man, I can open up the playbook." I wanna see Jalen Hurts. You saw what happened. They won a Super Bowl when Jalen Hurts had a, offensive coordinator that was really had implemented good offensive schemes. But I was waiting for this name to be called, was the Atlanta Falcons.
I have more names. I got
I already know, and that's my honorable mention because, bro, you got London, you got Bijan. I know they don't got no quarterback, I know, but I feel like Atlanta has some bones
yeah.
with the right OC and the right head coach. They could do some things in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
that was my next one I was gonna call was Atlanta because you got John Harbaugh who says he's leaning to go there. And what you gotta remember about Harbaugh, his first couple years and anywhere he goes, the situation spins around for him. That's one other situation. Then the next situation I have for you was also the Miami Dolphins because that's another place that Tomlin was going with. And then my final cut would have been Philly. And the only reason why I said Philly is because there's 3 names that people are talking about that wanna go and be the OC. Mike McDaniels, your former head coach, Brian Daboll, when you remember Saquon had 2,000 yards with them, and then finally the other OC was gonna be Cliff Kingsbury, which is who you named. So it's gonna be some interesting things come this offseason. But let's jump back into the playoffs, man. You got so many stories, and Imma let you give your take, but Imma name all these stories. With all these people that's left, well, when we think about it, there's no more Lamar. There's no more the storybook franchise in Pittsburgh. There's no more the disorientation of the Philadelphia Eagles where you don't know what's going on with Sirianni and Jalen Hurts is more of a runner than a passer. Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs we've ever seen, that's out of the playoffs. Now, and of course, Patrick Mahomes, second greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And shout out to, Shannon Sharp. He just had an episode when he talked about John Elway and how great he was. So
That
when
was a
you
good
look
episode.
at the standing point of what's left in the playoffs? You have the historic franchise of the Denver Broncos. Of course, I just talked about John Elway. You have your pick, which has always been your pick all season, is the LA Rams, Stafford, Puka Nakua, Devontae Adams. Uh, you got Caleb Williams looking like all world, looking like the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, the second coming of Aaron Rodgers. Uh, you have the San Francisco 49ers winning on smoke and mirrors. Every game they play, somebody gets hurt and they're gone for the season. Warner still being out, to Bosa still being out, to them losing Kittles to an Achilles injury, and they're still winning. Shout out to Kyle Shanahan and the job he's doing.
Right.
Seahawks, who's under the weather, has the best record in football, and we don't even talk about them in that historic defense in Seattle. The Legion of Boom is back. And then finally, of course, the one story that I'm rooting for, uh, the guy who doesn't get enough love, who doesn't get enough respect, Josh Allen in Buffalo. The running game didn't do what it was supposed to, and Josh taking hits, hurt foot, hurt ankle, helmet turned to the side, still wins the game in Jacksonville. Which one of these stories, Prince? Which one is the greatest story we have left in these NFL playoffs?
All right, let's go through some of them. I think that Sam Darnold is gonna Darnold. I think we saw it with the Vikings. Like we saw this. He was balling, man. He's a capable quarterback. He could lead people. People like him. But I think when the money's on the line, I don't bet on Darnold. So that's that, right? Who else we got? Drake May. These guys are young, man. You know what I mean? These are moments of getting, what they say, booty holes get tight. Pause. When it's money time, I got to see how you are in money time. It's tough, man, because a lot of these guys, the only person I think is the most dangerous weapon left in the playoffs is Josh Allen. Brock Purdy, you got too much going on. I really don't know. Do you trust the Broncos? You know what I mean? It's hit or miss at that with the quarterback, man. With Bo Nix, like you've been saying all year, Bo Nix he's up and down, and that's why I picked Jackson. I mean, that's why I picked the Bills to beat Jacksonville because it's like, okay, if I got Josh Allen, he's probably the only quarterback in history that I know could go for three rushing touchdowns and three passing touchdowns. And Josh Allen is like a Mike Tyson punch where once he scrambles for 40, you're depleted. So now you're in zone coverage. Now Shakir picks you up. Now Cook is the Bills might not have the talent, but Josh Allen's playmaking ability, they throw you off.
There's another story that I want to discuss too. Can you imagine if the Bills win the Super Bowl? What this does for the legacy of Andy Reid? Because you have to remember McDermott was a defensive
Ooh.
coordinator for Philly. So what people don't realize, a lot of things that you see. So look at this: Harbaugh, who won a championship, was a special teams coach in Philly under Andy Reid. A lot of these guys who have won championships, they came up under the Andy Reid umbrella. And what that does for the NFL, if you really look at it, a lot of people who won championships, even people who won championships in New England, came up under the umbrella of the Bill Walsh umbrella in San Francisco. So now we can put Andy Reid on the level of Bill Walsh, the West Coast offense, one of the greatest offense we've ever seen. Now Andy Reid is up there. This can help him as far as the greatest coach of all time when you're going up against Bill Belichick, because another person who came up under you won a championship with Josh Allen.
Nah, for sure. And okay, and even with all that, with Josh probably being the most dangerous player in left, Matt Stafford in the play action. Well, they say you could cancel Christmas.
Yeah.
So if you're asking me if I got Sean McVay's mind and Matt Stafford to win games with the Eagles gone, with what's left, with Puka Nakua, with Devontae, these who you guarding in that, who you guarding in that, and they got the running game going, they're gonna be tough to beat. Now,
So
with that said, Bears show you now, like, yo, we could be down and come back. The Bears could win pretty. They could win ugly. Caleb Williams has this season, he went through like a lifetime of a career in this one season. I remember the first game of the season. He had that great drive. And then he went back in hero ball. And to see Ben Johnson face like, what this nigga doing? Like, and to see where they are now as they grew. Remember, Caleb has never been coached by a nigga like Ben Johnson, bro, where it's discipline, it's accountability. We not going for the superstar talk. Now Caleb giving Ben Johnson game balls. He about to cry. This man changed my life. So the story is beautiful to see the Bears story from, remember, they was talking about Caleb gonna be a bust to now, like what you just said, the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, the second coming of Aaron Rodgers. You the only person who been talking like that consistently. Everybody else been calling him a bum and saying he a head case. So
well, playing wise, the it's two throws I seen him do that I ain't even ever seen Patty do. Playing wise, that throw
that
that he
roll,
threw,
that roll to the left,
and
yeah,
he did a fake Prince. He did
yeah,
a fadeaway deep ball, Prince.
yeah.
That's some Kobe stuff. And the
Yeah.
pass was like right over this guy's shoulder, and it was accurate. You know the crazy thing that I want to see this weekend? Because I asked you the question. The biggest story for me, you got well, it's not Soldier Field anymore, but I remember it as Soldier Field. Soldier Field, Chicago. Imagine if it's snowing. You got Stafford coming back to a team that he played against in his division when he was in Detroit, coming back to Chicago. In Chicago, the Bears, they said the stadium was rocking. You got that defense that leads the league in turnovers. They have gotten a turnover every week. You got Bird on one side. You got that other cornerback who's balling right on the other side. You got Puka Nacua on one side. You got Adams on the other. Then you got the offensive mind of Ben Johnson, and you got the offensive mind of Sean McVay. All going down in Chicago Sunday, 6:30. I think that that's going to be the most watched game this
I
season.
agree.
It may be on the level of a Super Bowl game because you
I
got
agree.
the old market of
Gunslinger.
the old gunslinger and Stafford, and then you got that new young guy, Billy the
Yeah.
Kid. Caleb is
Yeah.
Billy the Kid. And he's
Yeah.
saying, well, listen, yeah, you got all these cats, but guess what? I'm gonna make doodoo shine on Sunday. Let's see what happens. So I think that that's gonna be the biggest game of the weekend.
Hold on. I gotta give my guy love now. Hey, that throw was crazy, but we not gonna act like my boy Matty and throwing them no lookers.
Well,
Hey,
listen,
and
Patty still
we seen Patty do it, but Stafford doing it different. Let's be clear.
no. I agree with you, Prince.
I'm playing. I'm playing.
No. No, listen, don't get it twisted. Stafford is
That's
still
my guy.
listen, as far as throwers of the ball, top four all time. It's
Yeah.
it's not even an argument. Top four all time that I've ever seen. But just from what we've seen Saturday, it's gonna be an interesting game come Sunday. But
Let me.
let's switch gears, man. I want to talk about something big. I had a conversation with somebody this weekend, and we are the kings of what ifs. The kings of what ifs. So this is my what if championship window. I asked the person a question, and he said to me, his answer was the Spurs. So I'm going to give you five scenarios, and you're going to give me which one is the best scenario. So the first scenario is this. What if Bean became Bean and Shaq was never lazy, right? Would that be the most championships we ever seen in NBA history? All right, that's one. Number two, on the what ifs. What if Mike's father never died and he stayed in basketball with the Bulls? No issues with Jerry Krause, no issues with ownership, and the Bulls stayed together. All right? Would that be the most championships? What if the Spurs, their championship window began maybe about 2 years earlier when Robinson was Robinson and they picked all the players that they picked? Would their window still be the same and would they win the most championships? All right. So that's one, two, three. All right. The fourth one. What if Larry Joe Bird, didn't decide to dig up his mom's driveway and he never threw his back out and he just stayed healthy with that team? Because what a lot of people don't realize is the Pistons would have never beaten them. Remember, Larry messed his back up when the Pistons started to win. He wasn't the same Larry Bird. So Larry Joe Bird never threw his back out, and the Celtics was the still same team. Would they still be winning championship and have the most winning situation? And the final situation. What if the Golden State Warriors never got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving stayed with LeBron? Would LeBron have the most rings? So you got LeBron with the rings, you got Celtics with Joe on his back, you got the Lakers staying together, you got the Spurs, and you got Mike and his daddy not dying, and the Bulls stay together. One guy said he would take the Spurs just because of the building of Pop, and he believes more in the mind of Pop than any one of those coaches. I'll tell you what I picked.
I I think it's the Lakers, and it's not even a question. Like, cause think about it. Like, let's go through it. Yeah, David Robinson, y'all both big men. Somebody got to get y'all the ball. None of them dudes are Giannis to create offense. Nobody's Joker to create offense. And I love Tim Duncan, greatest power forward, arguably greatest career to ever. He probably has him and Kareem probably have perfect careers, and LeBron, and that's a perfect career crew, right? Kobe was Jordan 1B, and Shaq is the most dominant player ever. what are you doing with them, right? I love Kyrie and I love LeBron, but it's not the same. Those are two still perimeter players that if you got bigs to pack the paint, they not doing nothing. You get what I'm saying? What else did you say? Larry Bird, I love Bird, but nah, bro. Like you're naming two top 75, two top 10 players that played together. That's the only people you're out of the people you name. Two top 10 players. And they arguably might be number two in their positions all time. If you want to say Shaq, the second greatest center of all time. Yeah, bro. It's hard. It's hard for me to go against a focused Shaq. Yeah. I hear your boy about the Spurs. Pop in on the court. Shaq and Kobe on that court. Pop can't stop Shaq on that block. Like, so that's me. It's Lakers all day. That's not even a question, bro.
Right. Okay. I would say, and I guess you can say I'm a little bit biased, but the order I did LeBron 1, and then I did Lakers 2. And the only reason why I did LeBron 1 and Lakers 2, at that point in time, I didn't really do that. At that point in time, the only reason why I said that, if the Warriors never came, we already watched LeBron go to the finals 8 straight times. So you got Kyrie, the Warriors never come together. You're probably looking at LeBron winning 8 straight titles. The only reason why I didn't pick the Lakers, because even if Shaq was focused, he still was at the trajectory of his career where one thing that Shaq always had an issue was not even his focus, it was he never took care of his body. So that's the only reason why I would never take Shaq. And then with the Spurs, I would take the Spurs. Like my order was Cleveland, Lakers, Bulls, Celtics, and then Spurs. And that was the only reason why I took them, because I looked at that moment in time. I think from sheer dominance, I think Shaq was the most dominant thing we've seen. So that's why I have it too. But he was at a point in his career. That was my only concern with him. He was at a point in his career where if he still was going to be, because he was getting older, I didn't think that he would be as dominant, even with Shaq and Kobe. Because when you saw Shaq with Wade, even if he was a focused Shaq, his body was deteriorating because of his size, and that's the one thing with big men.
Okay, I can rebuttal that. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie is
Well, I
mentally gonna
agree.
be there. And he be hurt. Kyrie's probably the most hurt guard in history. Like if we talk about a superstar guard, so LeBron will probably be by himself and like he was that first finals.
True.
Play
True
hero
enough.
ball. So you're going off of Kyrie at his apex, where Kyrie's happy, he's praying, he got his incense. So I don't trust Kyrie like you don't trust Shaq. I don't trust Kyrie.
Well, no, I understand. I understand. I only was taking it from that perspective because I saw, even when I saw the Lakers, I still think that even if they were both focused, you got to remember one thing that kind of threw the Lakers off that I didn't like was I didn't like when they brought in Carl, Payton, and all them guys, only because I felt like the Lakers was fine as they were. I think the best Lakers team that I saw was not the Lakers with Kobe, but the Lakers with Fish, Devin George, Corey. I think bringing in those old heads kind of messed them up. So if they
I
still
agree.
brought that same team in, I think that that kind of threw the team off because we saw a different. We started seeing Mamba mentality versus Indiana when he did put his hands down, and then from there, I think that's what made Shaq say, "Okay, this nigga's coming. I can't. It's not gonna be my team anymore. This nigga's coming," and that was the issue. Now, when you look at LeBron, like whoever gets the shot gets the shot. I just want to win.
I think too, I think LeBron might have had some of them runs early like that, but it wasn't all of them. Where remember that Lakers team only had one loss in the playoffs, and that was to Iverson. Think about
Yeah.
that. So they would have swept through and like that. So that I know everybody talk about the 72-10, the Bulls, but like as far as like dominance, I think that 01, that 2000 Lakers team was like unstoppable.
It's definitely up there. 'Cause remember not, but remember, Bird Celtics had one like that too, though. Well, I think they
True.
lost 1 or 2 games.
86, I think
That's the
85,
reason why I put Bird Celtics teams up there because one thing that I know, if Bird was still in his prime, that's why I had him third. Remember this one thing. I want you to remember this. Look at Larry Bird. I looked at one thing and somebody said this to me and it made so much sense. He says, even when Larry had a bad back, he had a winning record versus the Bulls. When Jordan was winning his first 2 championships, the Celtics still won the season series versus them. And then we're putting Scotty on Larry Bird. Larry Bird might be the most like the matrix of how you guard him. There's no way Larry was giving Scotty buckets, and Scotty
No,
couldn't
no,
stick
but that's a whole nother Larry Bird probably one of the most skilled players to ever play. He's in that top 3, 5, top 5 room.
as far as skilled players, 100%. I
Yeah,
mean,
like yeah.
I think scoring the basketball, in my opinion, from what I've seen, scoring the basketball, I always, when people ask me if I was to give my top 5 scorers of the basketball, I'm going Kobe Bean Bryant 1, I'm going Michael 2, and I'm going Larry Bird. I don't care. I know people gonna say, "You tripping, Kevin Durant," but no, I'm sorry. I have to because I never heard KD tell somebody what they're going to do and then do it, and then still you still can't stop. And I mean, everybody said it. And he went up against athletic players and physicality.
Yeah,
Now,
for
go
yeah,
ahead.
I agree. I think for what he was able to get out of an unathletic body, you've never seen that since the Joker. The Joker's the newest version of the Bird where
Listen, in the words of church, amen, my brother. Amen.
agree, man. But yeah, check us out, man. Let us know who you pick for these NFL playoffs. How's y'all fantasy turnout? Are y'all winning money on Hard Rock? Are y'all winning money on DraftKings? Let us know. Check out the YouTube, TikTok. Tune in next week, man. We appreciate y'all. Your favorite sports show. No, we go listen, we gotta stop saying sports show. Your favorite show in the world, man. Prince and Barty. Thanks for the love on how did Barty get his name. And my first dunk is doing crazy numbers. We appreciate y'all. We trying to make it more personal so y'all get to know us a little more. But stay tuned, man. We appreciate y'all.